Right guys, today is a big announcement. We're on the road to 90 kg body weight, not bench, body weight. So let's get it boys. Today is a big push session. I'm looking forward to it. I'm here with Fred and hopefully we catch a manic pump. Although I did forget to get the honey and salt, so we might not mog as much today. But as you can see, I'm growing out the trim, just hopped out the shower. So, you know, it's not looking too optimal, but I'm looking forward to today's session. Let's get it boys. Right boys, I did have a bit of a stinker. I forgot to film my first two sets, so this was my last set. I worked with 30 kg and honestly just tried to rep it out for as many reps as possible. And honestly, this has got to be the best chest movement in my opinion. We're building those milkers, and you know what, we might have to see if they're bigger than the girls. Who knows how I can find out, but let me know in the comments because these juggernauts are getting seriously big right now. And then we went on to the weighted dips. This just feels like you have a massive extra bollock. But yeah, it felt pretty decent. The form's not the best, but when it's just swinging below you, you know what, you've just got to do the best to get it up. And we don't really bother about form that much. We're just trying to get the weight up. Then we have to do the salt and honey trick. If you don't know about this, get onto it. I was kind of looking a bit sus. Then we went and just checked out what the pump was saying. As you can see, I was IMAXing. Then I just went onto the pec deck, and I did also forget to film the first two sets because I was doing some cable flies and I was just trying to lock in, so I did forget. Sorry about that. There was a similar occurrence in here, but it did not happen for the rest of it. But yeah, honestly, try and just get a really nice stretch on the chest and keep the form nice and neat when doing most of your exercises. And honestly, you will just feel the mind-muscle connection so much more. And just make sure you are pushing hard. Each set should look like this to the minimum. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I should be pushing harder than that. The side delts, I do this cuffed lateral raises. I do just do some dumbbell lateral raises. However, I felt like being optimal today, so I went with the cuffs. And yeah, it is really good. I definitely would recommend it if you're trying to find something which you can feel with a good mind-muscle connection. However, I think I'm going to stick with some dumbbell lateral raises just because I like the feeling of being Sigma and getting up to 20 kgs for dumbbell lateral raises. If you don't believe me, boys, I'll get some proof next week on my TikTok, so make sure you check out that. Here is my second set. I worked with around 12 kg, just making sure to keep the form nice and neat. And I did slightly move the bench forwards a bit. Well, in this case, it probably moved back. Well, I'm not even sure what I'm on about, but it felt really good what I did. And it just kind of changed the resistance, but still keeping the form nice and neat throughout all the reps and making sure just to push as hard as possible. And that should be your aim for every exercise. Pair that with progressive overloading, eating well, and you will grow. And also another essential, making sure your sleep is good. And yeah, definitely give this a go if you haven't already. Then for my biceps, I just go into a regular seated dumbbell curl and just look at the size of the jugs, boys. They're definitely growing. And when doing your dumbbell curls, make sure to keep your control on the tempo. Make sure to keep that eccentric nice and controlled. And what do you think to the trim, boys? Should I keep growing it out or should I get like a taper on the side? But look at the bicep vein as well. Even though we're bulking, it's still bulging out. So yeah, we cannot complain. And we had to rock the Gymshark fit. So Gymshark, if you're watching this, make sure to drop me a sponsor. And I promise I'll make you loads of sales because we'll just drop some game on the athletes and they'll be loving it. So make sure you are also pushing hard with this. I probably could have done the 20 kgs to be fair. After recording this, I did go on to do the 20 kgs like the following push session. And make sure actually you boys try out the chest, biceps and shoulders. I just prefer training my biceps on push just because I find they're less fatigued and it just feels really nice getting a cheeky crossover pump. Like, look at that pump, boys. And by the time I went onto this rope hammer curl, my arms were already obliterated, but the pump was alive nevertheless. And just make sure you keep a nice controlled concentric, eccentric, and just squeeze at the top and keeping it nice and neat. And honestly, everyone will be looking at you because your pump is so nasty and you're just going to get so many gym girls coming to you and asking for your snap. Because this is definitely what happens. No, it doesn't happen with me. It's just in my imagination. Then here's what the pump's looking like. Natural lighting with a decent pump. Not going to lie, by the time I did this, it kind of wore out.